Hello everybody, Demon Red Mist here, and I'm only doing a short video here, which is to give a few tips about the Alsace, or depending on how it's said, Alsace, or Alsace village track. And I'm doing this video because a few drivers I know have struggled a bit with the track and others are struggling with tyre wear, or perhaps a bit of both. So I'm going to give you my tips. Here's tip number one: don't use the soft compound tyre, only use the super soft compounded tyre. Reason being, the soft compound tyre doesn't have as much grip. Having that lack of grip means the car slides a little more. If it slides a little more, the tyres wear more. Because they wear more, you slide more, and it's a vicious cycle. Chopper's getting close. I did test the soft compound tyres, and the super softs just have so much more grip that when you drive them properly, they'll last as long as a soft tyre will, actually longer, right? And with faster lap times. So what I'm going to do regarding the track is pretty much mention that the biggest part of the tyre wear actually comes from the braking, right? Because if you brake too hard or too late, you then slide in the corner. You'll either understeer or you'll go deep. You'll cause tyre wear. So braking is the important one around this particular track. Now I did play about a lot with the braking, and I did try different brake biases. To be honest, I've ended up on 0 on brake bias, but what I mean is by how much brake you actually apply. And I found that by going full brake everywhere, the tyres don't last very long. Now they'll last a couple of laps, but then when you try braking and braking fully, you'll start getting understeer and sliding, and then your tyre wear gets worse. So I found that there is only one corner around this particular track where I will use full brakes, but even then it's not full brakes straight away. It's actually gently apply the brakes until the car is straight and then fully apply them. But I'll literally go straight to that corner in a moment. For everywhere else, it is literally gentle application of the brakes, and you can brake at pretty much the same point as if you were going full brakes. It's just you'll slow down better because you're not locking up or your ABS isn't kicking in, right? But also it means that the car's not sliding at any stage of your stint, meaning your tyres last longer, meaning you have more grip for longer. So it's the opposite of a vicious circle. It's a happy party circle, right? The other factor is the lines you take into corners, okay? Some people may be tempted to take certain lines around many of the corners around this track, but unfortunately it'll give you slow exits of corners and kill your tyres as the tyres start to wear. So as I go around here, I'm not going to spend too long on this guide because I'm starving. It's one of the reasons why I'm not going to be online tonight, and hopefully the car's not going to be too loud that you can't actually hear me. Okay, I'll tell you what, actually I'm going to go and jump into a chat party so the audio is a little more in my favour. I love the sound of the car, but I have the audio a little quieter when I'm in the chat party. Yeah, okay, so one of the things that many people will do is unfortunately take what I would call the wrong line into a corner. And there's a couple of corners. I mean, this one, it doesn't really matter what line you take because it's a flat out corner. But then this one, the line you take is crucial to how much speed you take through the corner, and also how much tyre wear you get. And then this corner as well. If you come in too tight, you run wide on the exit or have to slow down a lot. so you want to kind of try and take a later apex. This corner as well, if you go up the inside, it's a very tricky corner, and if you brake late and hard, you will understeer. It's a horrible corner for understeer, but you can actually go through that corner very, very quickly. This corner, you've got to watch out for this dip. I might show that in a little while. And again here, you don't want to go into this one too fast or turn in too soon, because you'll run wide. And you don't want to run wide here. The long cambered right-hander, me personally, I do a little lift, downshift, and I stay high as long as I can, and apex late, apex here. I find that taking the corner any other way, like going in on the right-hand side of the track, just results in losing time on the exit of the corner and having to slow down. Okay, the corner ahead of us, so it's effectively a kink and to a hairpin. This is the only set of corners where I will actually apply full brake. And as I mentioned, it's not full brake straight away. Basically, we're approaching the kink on the right hand side, and we're still flat out, but then as we get to about this point, we gently apply the brake, right, so that we can get the car to the end of the curb and now straight, aiming at the corner ahead of us. Once we get to the end of the curb and the steering wheel is straight, bang, full brakes, right, and we keep the brakes on until we're slow enough. And now one of the tricks here is to not turn the steering until you have slowed down enough so that when you do steer, it grips, it doesn't understeer and go wide. Now, one of the reasons for not going full brakes there is that you get very loose on the rear of the car. You can play about with the brake biases for that, but in actual fact it doesn't help you overall. And same with this corner coming up down here. If you attack it full brakes, it can get very, very twitchy on the rear end and very understeery mid-corner. Okay, I'm going to go and try and do a couple of flying laps how I would do them. Now, one of the things I will say actually before I do start the flying laps, actually, the brake indicator, just bring it on, at the bottom of my screen where it's got what gear I'm in, and it says MT next to it. The MT is for manual transition, and just above the MT is where a red square will appear with a number in, and that's the gear that the game is recommending you take the next corner in. Now, around this track, adhere to that flashing, right? You don't necessarily have to adhere to the gear it's telling you, but when it flashes, brake. Okay, so for turn one, pretty much as soon as it starts flashing, I'm going to apply the brakes, but not full brake on the pedal. Needed to apply a little bit more, but I haven't understeered, I've just gone a little bit too fast, so I've had to wait until I turn. Okay, flat out left-hander. Personally, I like to approach this on the right-hand side, then when the chevrons are there, I'm over to the left to keep the tight line, brake as it flashes, gentle brakes, and then you can hold third gear and apex late, and then power out of the corner. Move over to the right, don't turn in too soon, let off the throttle, and then control the throttle until you know you can clip the apex and not run wide. Braking point is before the banner, on the brakes, down to third, clip the apex and power out. Very easy corner when done correctly. Flat out here, brake before the crest, down to third gear, but apex it late so we can get on the power and we don't have to come off it again. The cambered right hander up to fifth, drop it down to fourth, wait a little bit, and now we work our way down to apex. May have to play a little bit with the throttle there, but that's fine. It's better than having to come off the throttle completely. Okay, fifth gear, turn in, gentle brakes, full brakes at the end of the curve, wait, and now we can power. Don't really have to brake here, but in the race I do tend to like to drop it down to third. Just helps with the turn in and on the power, and you can go up to fourth pretty quickly. Down here, gentle brakes is a must for me. It saves any kind of understeer or hurting the tyres. Don't want to hit the wall there. Okay, I'm trying to go for another lap here. So So I'm going to need a little more brake into turn 1. So no worries of understeer, no worries of oversteer, all nice and smooth, doesn't kill the tyre. If I go full brake into turn 1, well, if anyone does, you tend to get understeer. See, nice late turn in to apex late to come out full speed. So there's nothing I'm doing at the moment that's killing tyres. But I'm also, as I said, I'm not full braking anywhere, but the car's slowing down exactly how I want it to. And by looking after the tyres, it does mean that you can push it a little harder around the long right-hander if you take it with the line that I show there. Okay, because we're braking on the turn, that's why we've got gentle brakes and then hard brakes late. And as I said, wait until the car has slowed down before you really turn for that hairpin. Now I could take that left-hander in 4th gear, but if I do, it's just a little slower on the exit of the corner. Now, because I'm taking care of the tyres under braking, I'm not losing control of the car in any way under braking. It does mean that once I've got to that point of the corner where I can accelerate, I can really push it hard. Now I do play about a little bit with the throttle through that corner, but you will have to do that as the tyres begin to wear. So even though we're on to what, the 4th lap here, I'm not struggling with the tyre wear at all, and the car's still going pretty much exactly where I want it to go. That's better. And you'll notice as well that as I'm doing this, I am trying to position the car in exactly the same place on every straight, every braking zone and every corner. So still no major problems with the tyres. Now I do know that in a couple of practice races last night, I was able to take the super soft tyre for about 13-14 minutes. Everybody else though was struggling to get 10 minutes out of them, and those that were on the soft compounder tyre were struggling to get 11 minutes out of the tyres. And it's all down to how much brake you apply. Too much curb there. Obviously spinning won't help. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to jump back to the pits, and then I'm just going to do one more run where I brake at pretty much exactly the same points, but I'm going to go full brakes, right? So I'm going to brake at the same points, and we'll see what kind of effect it has on the handling of the car, but also whether I slow down enough for the corners, right? Because bear in mind, I've been braking with a lot less pressure applied. Now, I'm not going to do it on this out lap, because I want the tyres to be in the best condition once I start the lap. Excuse me. Now, one of the things around this track as well is, I mean, taking the lines that I've mentioned here, it is what I would class as the racing line. Other people may view it and go, oh no, he's just leaving the door wide open, or he's gone wide on entry to the corner. Well, have I? Because if you're having to slow down on the exit of a corner, you've gone in too fast or on the wrong line. I'm not having to slow down on the exits of corners. I'm full fucking throttle. So here, for example, if I go take this line, someone may chuck it up the inside, but they're going to run wide here and have to lift off and have to slow down, or they'll be on the grass and in the barrier. So if you're finding yourself in the grass and on the barrier on that left-hand side of the cambered right-hand corner, you're taking the line wrong. So just to show you as well, fourth gear through here, it can do it, it's just a little slower picking up on acceleration. Okay, so for turn one is where we'll start doing the full brakes. Now, okay, yes, I have got ABS on, so it should look after the tyres. Okay, slows down all right on this occasion. But bear in mind as well, full brakes, it's going to put a little more temperature through the brakes, through the tyres. I'm a little more out of position with the full brakes. I mean, I'd never use full brakes in that corner anyway, but we'll go full brakes here. Now, okay, I'm slowing down for the corners. I'm making the corners at the moment. But I can tell as I'm hitting the brakes, I can hear little bits of tyre squeal. Okay, I'm not going to do light and then full here, I'm just going to go full. Okay, I've just managed to get it slowed down in time, but that's taken a little bit of life out of the tyres. May have braked a little late there, but see, all of this for me now, it's feeling okay, doable but a little on edge, and this is the bit where it'll sort of confuse people. In the, yes, you can do it for a lap or two, but it's after that that the problems come along, because that wasn't too bad. And I probably even feel like I could brake a little later, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, looking at the tyre wear, I'd say I've used quite a bit already, and I'm only on lap 3. I definitely feel like I'm not taking anywhere near as much speed into the corners because I've used full brakes, but I do feel like I'm hurting the tyres a lot more. Yeah, car starting to slide under braking. Yeah, front tyres are definitely taking a bit of a beating. Okay, so 2 laps, not too bad. Let's see what happens on lap 3. I wouldn't be surprised as well if I am automatically not going full brakes. I'm coming off it a little more. But you know what I mean? That's just taking a load of my front tyre. I didn't have that much front wear on the last set of tyres. I don't think. Audio. That was a bit off-putting. Okay, yeah, I can feel the car starting to slide a little more on turn in. It's not quite got the grip. Yeah, I can hear the tyres squealing a little bit on turning there. And under braking now, under turning. Running wide. Now around this corner I don't mind tyre squeal taking the line that I'm doing, because that doesn't actually kill the tyres that much. Not as much as hitting the brakes hard down here does. Now admittedly I'm probably braking earlier than many would when using full brakes. So now we're into a situation where the tyres are beginning to wear that little bit more, that little bit more. Yeah, understeer's coming in mid-corner, and that sent me a little bit wider on the exit. So now it's into that realm of, okay, now I get a little understeer, now I start to slide, now I get a bit more tyre wear, vicious triangle. So for a couple of laps, it plays with your mind thinking, you know what, you can do it. I had to slow down a lot more to still make the corner, and it's going to run wide. I had to lift off on the exit. So yeah, I would say that the amount of tyre wear I've got now on the fronts is way too much. Well, like I said, if you incorporated also using the wrong line, the tyre wear would be considerably fucking worse. Now, when I'm sort of driving on autopilot, it is a little difficult for me to purposefully drive wrong. Yeah, I can definitely feel it on the wheel. I haven't got the grip on the front end. Well, because I'm driving a particular line that I am, I'm probably still getting better tyre wear than many might using this type of braking. Now I'm going to try a lap here of taking the wrong line so you can see what happens. I'm still going to go full brakes. Much wider on the exit, had to wait a lot longer. Come in too tight here. It's a fight with the edge of the track. And again here, if you brake late and hard and go up the inside, understeer doesn't want, and you can't get on the throttle early enough. Something to watch out for is this kink. If you're here, you're going to understeer massively wide. Don't come in this line. It's just going to make you run wide. Okay, and this corner. Let's take the lower line. I had to lift off a lot more, and now this is a much tighter corner. I had to lift off a lot there, and I'm about 10 mile an hour slower. Not advisable to handbrake it, but now this corner you can be on the inside here. You definitely will need third gear and a lot more steering angle, and you can't get on the throttle anywhere near as much or as soon. And again down here, braking for the dive bomb up the inside, you're gonna slide. So yeah, don't do that. Now look at my front left tyre wear. One lap has taken a massive chunk of front left tyre wear. So if I'd have driven like that for the previous 3 laps, I would have absolutely no tyres left. I mean, to be honest, I'd probably only be able to do 1 more lap like that, and that front left there'd be no grip left. Okay, so I will go and do 1 more run on the lines that I use. Just as a reminder, so the last thing for anyone watching that watches this will be where I actually position the car. Now obviously as well, given the regulations in DGT League this season with the reverse championship standings grid order for the remaining races, the way I'm driving is nothing to do with going for the fastest lap. However, it will probably bring fastest laps, right? Or consistently fast laps, because this is all about driving the car to its fastest for the longest. I mean, to be honest, if I was going to do a qualifying lap, I would pretty much drive it exactly the same way, except for a couple of corners where I may push it a little more on the exit. I wouldn't push it more on the braking because you just don't have the grip. Okay, so I'm going to go back to braking as gently as I do. Well, you'll notice straight away it's smooth, it's calm, it's not panicked, it's not frantic. That is a personal best lap time that I've just done there, 51.3. So the difference in those two driving styles and not going with the aggressive braking just gives so much more lap time and so much more grip for longer. So I would implore all of the DGT drivers to check this video out, although if you watch this and go, fucking hell yeah, I'm going to do that, I won't tell anybody else, I would understand. But it does emphasise the difference of amount of tyre wear. Now I know it may seem very odd for some people to not be using full brakes or braking really late, but it's not about how late you can brake, it's about how fast can you go, and how fast can you go for as long as you can. So I'm not saying I could do 151s for 10 to 12 minutes, but it wouldn't be far off, because I would perhaps rein it in a little bit. Sacrificing half a second a lap could give me an extra 4 or 5 minutes of driving. So the overall loss is considerably less than having to pit multiple times. Anyway, there you go, there's the tips for that one. I'm going to disappear now so I can get myself something to eat, chill out, watch a film, and yeah, recover and recuperate for whatever happens tomorrow. Right, have a good one folks, and I shall see you all in a bit.